Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. There is a conspicuous different sort of prop here from some of the practices you and I may have done together before, and that is a bolster. If you don't have a yoga bolster lying around your house, and I'm going to guess that most of us don't, here's what I love to use. A cushion from my couch. You can use a pillow or a couple of sturdy pillows. The more rectangular it is, the better. However, if it's just square, that's cool too, don't worry. I have a yoga mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, you'll be just fine in a carpeted area, or maybe you have a rug somewhere that can become your yoga mat for today. A folded blanket, which can be the throw blanket from your couch, or a folded bath towel, beach towel. And 2 blocks, thick books, can be a great substitute if you don't have yoga blocks. And then we will stand in our foundational pose, our mountain pose. Our feet are hip distance and parallel, a little soft bend in our knees. Turn your palms away from each other. Let that happen at the shoulder joint. Our chins float parallel to the ground. And the arrows of attention turn inward instead of distractedly outward as we stop so that we can start. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Fully experience your inhale and maybe add a tiny little pause at the top when you're full. Fully experience your exhale and find that same pause at the bottom when you're empty. If you're able to breathe both the inhale and the exhale through your nose, that's ideal, but totally fine if it's not happening. We'll inhale our arms overhead, thumbs to the sky, a V. And then exhale, float your arms along your side palms, face out. Again, just that much. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. And then exhale, float your arms along your side palms, facing out. One more time. Inhale, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, float your arms alongside you. Adding on. Inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. And then we'll exhale, hinge at our hips, and take our hands to our thighs, maybe to our shins, but I want you to think hinge at your hips and long spine. You could venture your hands down to your ankles, but it's not a goal to get our hands low. It's a goal to keep our spine long. When we inhale, we'll slide our hands up and uplift our heart. Then we'll exhale and fold back in, keeping the hip hinge. And then rise and reach. Inhale, arms to the sky, thumbs to the sky, V shape, and then we float our arms along our sides. Palms face out. Let's do that much again. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Slide your hands up and inhale, lift your heart. Slide your hands back down, exhale, fold it back in, and then we'll rise, belly firm, thumbs to the sky, V shape, inhale, and then arms along our sides. Add on, inhale, V shape, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Inhale, slide your hands up and now bend your knees and place your palms flat on your mat. Step back to down dog. Our hips lift up and back, and it's like there's a hook in our tailbone as we do that. I like to step pretty wide and keep a deep bend in my knees, especially for this first one. And what we don't want is to collapse into our arms. So push the ground away. Feel yourself grow long. It's actually a delicious upside down stretch. Walk your feet forward to your hands, hip distance. Slide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, fold back in, and then we rise, reach thumbs to the sky, inhale. Pause, palms facing out. Again, inhale, arms out and up, thumbs to the sky, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs or shins or ankles. Slide your hands up and inhale, palms flat. We step to our down dog. And this time from down dog, shift it to a plank position with our shoulders over our wrists, and then carefully lower your knees down. Let's refine this action of plank. We don't collapse into our joints. We'll push the ground away and keep pushing the ground away as we draw our low belly towards our spine. Shift a little bit forward, See if you can stay in one piece. Elbows brush our ribs and we come onto our belly. Uncurl your toes and bring your forearms onto your mat. Our first one as Sphinx pose really makes things clear. Traction your elbows towards you. Draw your chest through the gateway of your arms. Try to keep your chin floating parallel to the ground. Press into the tops of your feet so your kneecaps lift and you feel your legs get activated. Then lower down, slide your hands next to your ribs, curl your toes under in one chunk, come to all fours, and then let the hook in your tailbone lift your hips up and back into down dog. Walk it forward, feet to your hands, feet are hip distance, slide your hands up, inhale, lift your heart, exhale, fold back in. Rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V shape as we inhale, and then palms face out, and we stand in our mountain. Let's flow that. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Inhale, glide your hands up, palms flat, step back, down dog. From down dog, we shift shoulders over wrists and bring our knees to our mat. Our bellies are firm, we're pushing the ground away, and we come all the way down. Once we're there, uncurl your toes, maybe Sphinx, or maybe your hands stay right next to your ribs, and you bring yourself into a careful cobra. Lower down, curl your toes under, bring yourself through all fours. Our hips lift us up and back into our downward facing dog. From down dog, lift your right leg back behind you and step that right foot forward. Most of us are going to need to take our right hand and help ourselves along there. Let's take our two tall blocks or books and place them on either side of our right foot. Inch that right foot a little bit over to the right. Bend your right knee deeply. Stay on the ball of your back foot. And imagine instead of your hips swinging out to the right, that you're interested in swinging them a little bit to the left and you find a balancing point, a plumb line. Put some bend in your left knee, your back knee, so that it makes it easier to come upright, thumbs to the sky, a V shape. Then we'll return our hands to our blocks and ultimately palms flat on our mat, down dog. Our left leg lifts. We'll step our left foot through and help it along if we need to. Blocks underneath our hands. A little inching of our left foot to our left. A little swinging of left hip back and right hip forward. And then a bend in our right knee, our back knee. Firm through our belly, upright, crescent, V shape, thumbs to the sky. Hands come to our blocks on the way to our mat and making sure our blocks are off our mat as we come into our down dog. Right leg reaches, step your right foot through, help it along if you need to. Come upright into our crescent pose. A little bend in our back knee is helpful. Now, back foot flat, bend in our right knee, inch your right foot over to the left, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and a warrior two. Our back heel is at a 45-degree angle, and our right knee is right over our right ankle here. We will move slowly, spinning on our back toes, turning our body to face the front of our mat, using our blocks on our way to downward facing dog, where we lift our left leg behind us and step our left foot forward into our crescent forward facing lunge with a little bend in our back knee to assist. Then back foot flat with our right knee bent, inch that over to, left knee bent, inch it over to the right, arms out to the side, 45-degree angle in our back foot, warrior two, side two. Then we will carefully spin on our back toes, reach our arms into the V shape as we square. Use your hands on your blocks or just hands to your mat for your downward facing dog. I'm giving you tools, you can use them or not. Right leg reaches again. We step into our crescent pose once again and maybe a bend in our back knee. Then we lower our back heel, inch our right foot over to the left, arms out to the side in our warrior two position. Straighten your right leg and not side bending, but instead take your right hand, make a little karate chop, hinge at your right hip. Reach way out with your right hand. We're creating a triangle pose. Right hand on our block, left arm up to the sky, thumb to the sky, and a pause here. And a stretch. You can press into your right big toe mound. We want to keep inner upper arms spinning away from each other instead of crowding our shoulders into our ears. And I'm going to get silent for a triangle meditative moment here. It's a simple bend of our front knee, spin on your back toes, step to down dog, scoot that block out of the way. Once we're there, left leg lifts for us to step into crescent pose once again. And then, maybe with a bend in our back knee, we'll drop our right heel. Back heel, inch our left foot over to the right, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, warrior two. And then we straighten our left leg. And remember, not side bending, hinging. Reach way out with your left hand. Triangle pose, block on the outside of your left foot. Right arm up to the sky. And we have a long little silent soak in our stretch. Let's create space between our shoulders and our ears. I'll be silent for a few moments here. Same exit as our first side. So look down and bend your left knee as you spin on your back toes. Your block can be very helpful here. Step back to downward facing dog. And from down dog, bring your knees onto your mat and we'll come into a child's pose. Now, not everybody's child's pose is going to be on the tops of their feet and hips sinking onto heels. All kinds of reasons for that. You might need to keep your toes curled under because your ankle doesn't really enjoy being on the top of your feet. It might be too much knee flexion, meaning bend in your knee. So you can walk your hands forward and have kind of a nice spacious place for your child's pose. It could be that you sink your hips toward your heels. We're all different. And it's really important to celebrate our differences and to celebrate what's happening in this pose instead of sort of get mad at yourself for what you think isn't happening. So let's find this as a joyous child's pose, like our inner child, and pause for a moment. As we come to hands and knees here, we're shifting the energy of this practice a bit too. We were standing, building some heat. Now we're going to start to cool things out a little bit and drop into a very restorative place. So take your two blocks or books and stack them. You might want to take your folded blanket and put it underneath your left knee as we step our right foot forward into what's called humble warrior. Now you can bring your forearms onto your stacked blocks or a block or the floor. Again, we're all different. And then I think the trickiest, stickiest part is to get still and silent for a full minute. There's the physical stretch and there is the mental stretch. Am I right? So let's take our physical and mental stretch together here for one silent minute. You're going to make it. There's only 10 more seconds. And then let's bring ourselves up, straighten our front leg, and situate our two blocks or books on either side of that right leg. It can stay pretty much here with your hips over your left bent knee, or you could scoot towards a vertical split, inching your right heel forward and your left knee back a little bit. It might even benefit you to curl your left toes, your back toes under. And now we have a nice soak in this stretch. So for this restorative part of our practice, we hold the poses a little bit longer. There's a little bit more room for stillness and meditation. Maybe that's even harder than a lot of movement is for you. Let's start our silent moment of stillness now. Now we'll bend that right knee, knees line up, second side of our humble warrior stretch, left foot forward. Stack your blocks or whatever your arrangement was that you feel helps or works. One side might call for something different. And then we come into our humble warrior stretch, but I think maybe the most humbling of all is that stretch of silence that we share here for a full minute, starting now. And now, after our full minute here, straighten your left leg, frame your left leg with your blocks. It can be that you stay in this half split, or you can slide your left heel forward and your right knee back to any degree towards almost what looks like a vertical split, and we'll get silent and still in this leap of faith, this stretch, for a full minute starting now. That's our full minute, so we'll bend our left knee, slide it next to our right. We will use our bolster, or whatever you've got that you're using for a bolster. And the long way, but like I said, if you've only got a square that you're dealing with, it's fine. It's going to be just fine. So we sit as if seated side saddle, not on the bolster, but right in front of your bolster. And one way that I find that's easy to set it up, or easy to explain it maybe, is stack your knees on top of each other. So I'm on my right thigh with my right hip against my bolster and my left knee on top. Now I just slide that left knee back. And you can almost think of stepping your right foot onto your left thigh. And then we'll turn a little bit towards our bolster so we can ride our right arm straight out alongside it. Your head can rest on your arm, or maybe it doesn't quite do that. You could have your blanket nearby in case you want to elevate your head in any of what we're up to here. Left arm up to the sky, it goes up and over your head, and you'll hold your forearm and just, oh, how delicious, right? A stretch, as if you were trying to lower your hips even closer to the ground and encouraging that left arm to reach up and over towards like the earth in front of your bolster almost. We'll take 3 moments here. Then take your hands on either side of your bolster. Come up so that you can turn your chest to face your bolster. Left ribs rotate as if they want to face your bolster completely. They probably won't, that's fine. Full disclosure, I'm gonna have to fake this because I've got a microphone on and I don't wanna squish my microphone. You'll come onto your forearms and then lie down on the right side of your head. Maybe this is where you fold your blanket and make it more comfortable. And then I'm gonna have to hold myself up, but I want you to decide to surrender and just let your props hold you up. Much like holding the poses is kind of a stretch, but really the stretch is mental stretch of stillness and silence. Surrender is a little like that too. Let yourself let go. A very helpful tool is to let your exhale become longer than your inhale. That's the relaxation side of your nervous system. So while you're here, wondering how you're going to stay still for 2 minutes, yep, 2 minutes, tell yourself let as you inhale and go as you exhale. You can do that silently, but let it be as you inhale and let. Exhale, go. That your exhale becomes longer than your inhale. The props hold you up. You don't have to do anything, just be. Now use the strength of your arms, bring yourself up. You can just turn around. I'm going to relocate my bolster so I don't turn my back on you as we do this second side. We're side saddle, out in front of our bolster, not upon it. Now it's our left hip resting up against it, and you'll swing your right leg back a bit. Reach out with your left arm. Take your right arm up and over, hold that forearm. Lie your head down wherever it agrees to. Give yourself that stretch. I could be happy just staying here. Now frame your bolster. Come up enough that you can turn right ribs. So turning your chest towards your bolster, lower down. You'll be on the outside, the left outside of your head. I'm faking it so that I don't kill my microphone, but you're going to just let your props hold you up. You can return to your little silent mantra of let on your inhale and go on your exhale as we take this second side. Thirty more seconds together on this side. Now, you'll bring yourself carefully up, unwind, and then we'll take our bolster. I'm not sure that I've done this with you before. We'll put our feet on our bolster and lie down. I'm going to come off my mat so that I know that you're getting a nice sideways view of what I'm up to. So first, with your feet on your bolster, lie down and make yourself comfortable. And then with your feet on top of your bolster, make a butterfly position with the bottoms of your feet together. So this could be a pillow, all good. Snuggle one shoulder blade and then the other underneath you. Let's take a full minute together here. If you're comfortable, you could close your eyes. A soft gaze is great too. Option one, if this is comfortable enough for you, is to let this shape be your Shavasana final meditation. If you're getting quite a bit of sensory feedback, just let your legs slide over your bolster so that it's supporting your knees. Any little shifts that make you feel comfortable, great. And then we'll get silent for 2 minutes to rest and digest in our Shavasana final meditation. You're welcome to stay here as long as you would like. You might bend your knees and put your feet on your bolster and then carefully roll to either side. As we come up to seated, sometimes it's nice to just sit upon our bolster as we get our bearings, but stay soft. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I look forward to us doing it again together soon.